The video game industry moves fast, but we move faster. This is the Turbo Button Show with Darien and Jacob.
Hello, guys, and welcome to the Turbo Button Show for February. No, it's March. March. This year is going too crazy. March 6th, 2018. I got it right.
You did. Oh, wait, I'm not Jacob.
Wait a second. Since you're on
Yes.
and he's not,
Yeah.
I know the date better. But I still think it's February because it snowed today.
Well, it's not that. It's March
I know.
6th.
It's not supposed to snow in March. Especially with this global warming stuff. But we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the video game industry, politics, and that stuff. I swear, sometimes I get into this political radar mood, and I want to talk about politics and video games. There's nothing wrong with that. So, Donald Trump, well, in his administration, would like to meet with, the ESA, which they're entertainment something. They're a board that kind of commands entertainment, and they're a big person when it comes to video games. And so, to put things simple and not getting too political, Donald Trump wants to meet with people from the video game industry and, talk about gun violence, video games, and their correlation. Because there's been way too many school shootings. Way too many.
By the way, it's Entertainment Software Association.
There we go. Christian's got it.
You're welcome, sir.
I'm going from memory.
All right.
Because I read the article 4 or 5 times. So, he wants to meet with them on Thursday, correct? And, okay, I'm going to say this. The United States is basically the only country struggling with this issue. This is the 90s scapegoat coming back, blaming video games for violence.
Right.
Now, there's hundreds of other countries in the world.
Yep.
And they also get to enjoy the same video games.
Correct.
But the youth isn't going around and shooting up their schools.
Right, in their other countries.
Yeah. So it's not a video game issue. There's been studies before that said there's no correlation at all.
Nope. Isn't it just usually mental health issues?
It's mental health. It's a lot of it's just ridiculous. It's unchecked mental health. And, I watched an interesting video this morning that was basically, put out because of these issues of, youth violence and youth acting out, doing all this stuff. Is he was a psychoanalyst, I think he was.
Sure.
And he was doing brain scans on kids that, were showing signs of doing harm.
Right.
Like they wanted to kill themselves, they wanted to harm others, and they did a brain scan and they were like, "Oh crap, there's something wrong with his brain." Like there was, for example, the big example was this kid who had a cyst on his frontal lobe, which basically controls how you basically, emotionally function. The kid was depressed. He was very young too. He was very depressed. He wanted to lash out at people. He wanted to harm people, but he didn't want to harm people, but he was having these thoughts.
Right.
So they did this. They had brain surgery for the child, and he came back and he wasn't feeling this kind of,
emotions.
Yeah, he wasn't feeling these emotions anymore. He was feeling a lot better. So, it could be a lot of physical problems with people because, over time humans do mutate and, there is bad DNA.
Right.
Our diets aren't really the best either. So it could be a correlation of, the diets of people, their DNA, heritage, all that stuff.
Right.
and just, their general makeup. Because, people really aren't that impressioned by their entertainment. And if they are, then they're, shouldn't be able to do this for enjoyment. But a lot of the time, the people who are usually aggressive like this would take out the aggressions in the video games. But if they want to bring it outside, that's a whole different issue. So I think that they're just, yelling into an empty box right now.
Because they don't have a solution, and even though the solution is right in their faces, they just want to use the scapegoat shield.
Yeah, they want to blame it on the video game industry while they should be looking at the medical fields and the, our medical system is so expensive,
right?
United States, and being part of actually working with mental health and being part of the mental health system.
Yes,
they don't really do anything until there is wanting to harm others, wanting to harm yourself,
right?
And sometimes these people don't go and seek out this help,
right?
So they'll just kind of be going around, and they might be brought to a place and by the parents, and they say, oh, my child is having these issues. Child is able to lie through their teeth and say, I'm not having issues.
Mm-hmm.
They get sent off. Tragedy happens. It's a never-ending battle that we'll never win.
Right.
The United States is honestly really horrible when it comes to a lot of these issues. They want to blame entertainment, but other countries have much more vulgar, much more intense entertainment, and they have some of the lowest crime rates in the world.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Look at Japan. They have, very, sexually fueled video games.
Yep.
Their crime rates are very low.
Yeah. Okay.
They have their violent video games. They have all this stuff, they have the same video games as we do. Violence, crime rates so low. We in the United States don't hold people up to a higher standard.
Right.
We just say, go do things. Go to your little bubble. You need your safe space. Don't, opposing views are bad. I could ramble on this forever, but,
this is on overtime. This is more of your rant. I'm just here to provide like 2 or 3 thoughts.
So we have, a meeting on Thursday with, Donald Trump, video game industry, talking about gun violence.
Even though they're unrelated.
Very unrelated. No correlations. This has been studied since the 90s.
It's like, oh, there's gun violence because my child reads a book. Oh, no.
That was the issue back then, was books are the problem.
Yeah.
TVs are the problem.
Yeah.
Video games are the problem.
Yeah, I'm surprised movies aren't the problem.
Oh, that was kind of like between books and video games.
All right,
like
all right.
That was TV, movies, same thing, whatever. But, there's always going to be a scapegoat. The next form of entertainment that takes off is probably going to be blamed for things again. What could there be?
Card games.
Oh,
the
no.
problem.
Oh, well, actually, Pokemon trading card game is Satan.
Oh, yeah, there was.
The devil.
That's so dumb. All right, I guess that's pretty much it.
I do say on a closing thought, the ESRB needs to be reformed.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, E10, T, and M, those are the main ones that are used.
Yep. Then there's adult and child.
Yep, there's EC and AO.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as thorough as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, I'm an advocate for the ESRB. I'm an advocate for, if somebody's a 6-year-old child, they shouldn't be playing an M game.
Yep.
They really shouldn't. Like, if they're 6 years old, I would say the cutoff for them is E10. And wait till they're a little older to go to teen. And it's also parental discretion. and the child's maturity in the first place. Because if the child's very immature, they're a 13-year-old and they play a T game and they're not mature enough for it, put them on the E and E10s.
Yeah, what my first T game was?
What?
Spider-Man 3 from the movie.
I wasn't allowed to play T games until I was in 7th grade.
My dad was very strict with the rating system.
So
but he's a very smart man.
My mom was very strict, and my dad was like, he's mature enough. Let's let him play Grand Theft Auto. I turned out to be a fairly decent person. So, yeah, I don't think the correlation is a correlation.
Yeah.
You know, I've played violent video games growing up my entire life.
Yep.
Almost. And do I want to harm people? No.
Yeah, you don't see... I play Ace Attorney. You don't see me going to court helping people.
Objection. Wait. Objection. I'm trying to keep my hand in the camera. Okay.
I'm looking.
We're making up for yesterday.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for watching. And if you like this episode, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Also, we have a Discord. So, come join us. It's in the description down below. Also, what else do we have, Christian?
I forgot.
So Christian can remember. Let's buy him some memory. You can support this show with our shop. I got to get away from Christian. He's making me forget. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes. Maybe not or maybe I don't know.
If Jacob's here.
Yes.
Woohoo!
New episodes and other content can be found on turbobuttonshow.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.